Varnanam Rasanam Chandasamapi Mangalanam Chakartaro Vande Vani Vinayako. I pay homage to Vani, the goddess of speech, and Vinayaka, Ganesha, the originators of sound represented by the alphabet, of the multiple of objects denoted by those sounds, of poetic sentiments as well as of meters, and the begetters of all auspiciousness. Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shraddha Vishwasarupinam Yabhyam Vinana Pashyanti Siddha Swanta Sthamishwaram. I greet Goddess Parvati and her consort Bhagwan Shankara, embodiments of reverence and faith respectively, without which even the adept cannot perceive God enshrined in their very heart. Vande Bodhamayam Nityam Gurum Shankara Rupinam Yamashrito hi vakropi Chandra sarvatra vandate. I make pranams to the eternal preceptor in the form of Shankara, who is all wisdom, and by resting on whose brow the crescent moon, although crooked in shape, is universally adored. Udbhava sthiti sangharakaarinim kleshaharinim sarva shreyaskarim sitam natoham ramavallabham. I bow down to Sita, the beloved consort of Sri Rama, who is responsible for the creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe, who removes affliction and begets all blessedness. Yanmaya vashavarti vishwamakhilam brahmadi devasura yat sattvadamrishaiva bhati sakalam rajyo yatha brahma yat padaplavamekam hi bhavam bodhe stitirshaavatam vandeham tamasheshakarana param ramakhyamisham harim. I adore Lord Hari, known by the name of Sri Rama, who is superior to and lies beyond all causes, whose Maya holds sway over the entire universe, including gods from Brahma downwards and demons, whose presence lends positive reality to the world of appearances, even as the false notion of a serpent is entertained with reference to a rope, and whose feet are the only bark, only raft for those who are eager to cross the ocean of samsara. So in this way, Goswamiji starts his Ramcharitmanas, bowing down to all, and of course at the end, Sri Rama himself, But we all know that the first Ramayana was by Valmiki. That was the original Ramayana, that is in, whole of it is in Sanskrit. So one verse in reverence of that great sage. Kujantam Ram Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruyya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Yah Piban Satatam Ramcharitmana Sagaram Atriptastam Munim Vande Pracheta Samakalmasham. I bow down to Valmiki, conceived by the poets as a cuckoo, melodiously singing the sweet syllables of Rama's name, while perched on a bough of the tree of poetry. I bow down to the sinless sage Valmiki, who, though incessantly drinking of the ocean of nectar in the shape of Sri Rama's narrative, remains unsatiated. Means God's glory is such that the more you drink that Amrita, the more you want. That is the meaning of this. And a verse in praise of Ramayana itself. See the language. Valmiki gira sambhuta Ramam bho nidhi sangata Shrimad Ramayani Ganga Punati Bhuvanatrayam Valmikir Munisinghasya Kavita Vanacharinah Shrinvan Rama Kathanadam Kuna Yati Paramgati. So the holy Ganga in the form of the glorious Ramayana, which has descended from the mountain in the form of sage Valmiki and flows to the ocean embodied as Sri Rama, purifies all the three worlds with its contact. Punati Bhuvanatrayam. Hearing the roar in the form of Sri Rama's narrative of Valmiki, the lion among sages, roaming in the forest of poetry, who will not attain this highest goal of life? Shinman Rama Kathanadam Kunayati Paramgati. So we all know about Ramnavami. We celebrate the birth of Sri Ramachandra, who is worshipped as the seventh avatar of Vishnu, the Supreme Godhead. And he is often held as a role model within Hinduism for being an ideal Purusha Adarsha. Maryada Purushottam also he is called. So he is known as the ideal king and human being because of his righteousness, good conduct and numerous other virtues. So the festival, this time it is falling on a Thursday. It falls on the 9th day of the bright half, that is the Shukla Paksha of the lunar cycle of Chaitra. Chaitra is the March, April, that month. In the first month, our Hindu New Year has just started. This is the first month. So it is also part of the Chaitra Navaratri festival in spring. The rituals and customs associated with Ramnavami vary from region to region throughout India. The day is marked by reciting from the Hindu epic Ramayana, which narrates the tale of Rama. Vaishnava Hindus celebrate the festival by visiting temples, praying, listening to spiritual discourses, and of course, singing bhajans. Charitable events and community meals are also organized. Important celebrations on this day take place at Ayodhya, the birthplace of Sri Rama, and numerous Rama temples all over India. Ratha Yatras, that is chariot processions of Sri Rama, Sita, Lakshmana and Hanuman, occur at several places. And Ayodhya, many take a dip in the sacred river Saryu and then visit the Rama temple. So, before starting, as we know, each year when we celebrate Ramnavami, we discuss a particular episode from the Ramcharitmanas. So this time we will discuss the birth of Sri Rama. But before that, let us start with our bhajans also. Hindi. Shri Ram. So about the birth of Sri Rama, those who of course understand the Hindi language will enjoy it in double. I will read out the translation also. The whole thing is such a beautiful poems, and when you translate a poem, much of it is lost. So those who have read little Ramcharitmanas know that the Ram's cause of birth of Sri Rama, it is being enacted on two fronts. First of all, because of the demons like Ramayana and Kumbhakarna and all these people, the earth is being burdened. So Mother Earth goes to Brahma, and Brahma sees that he is powerless to do anything alone. So he goes to Vishnu. And Vishnu graciously, as always, he agrees to take birth. So that is one front. We will discuss it some other time in detail. Now we will go to Ayodhya, where this is taking place in another way. What is that way? That Dasharatha, the great king, father of Sri Rama, as you all know, he is feeling very sad because he doesn't have a son. So we will see what happens in Ayodhya and the beautiful, the inimitable poetry of the one and only Tulsidas ji. We will also see the original. So, what is happening? एक बार भूपति मन माही भय गलानी मोरे सुत नाही. Sut means son. More sut nahi. I don't have a son. Bhupati man mahi. In the mind, glani. He was feeling very sad. गुर गृह गयउ तुरत महिपाला, चरण लागी कर विनय विशाला. So, in olden days, they didn't go to any other place like shopping malls and etc. When they had any problem, they went to their guru. So, Guru Griha Gayo, he immediately went to his guru. Mahipala means the great king. Charan Lagi Kari Vinaya Bisala. So at that time they did not say hi Guru. They used to bow down and touch their feet. So Charan Lagi, first he bowed down and with great humility he asked his Guru. What did he ask? He said, निज दुख सुख सब गुरहि सुनायउ, कहि वशिष्ठ बहु विधि समझायउ, धरहु धीर होहि सुत चारी, त्रिभुवन विदित भगत भयहारी. So निज सुख दुख सब गुरहि सुनायउ. He told all his heart. He bared his heart to his Guru. So Kahi Vasishtha Bahu Vidhi Samajhayo. Then Vasishtha heard everything and gave him Santwana. Santwana means he told him, don't worry. Don't worry, why? Because Hoihi Sutta Chari. You want one son, you will have 4 sons. Dharahu Dhir. Don't be impatient. Just wait. In course of time, you will have 4 sons. And not only that, they won't be ordinary sons. Tribhuvana Vidita. Vidita means known. Tribhuvana, all the 3 worlds. So their fame will resound in all the 3 worlds. They will all be jewels. Sringi Rishihi Vasishtha Bolava Putra Kam Subh Jagya Karava. So in those days it was the Vedic times. So whenever they desired anything, they performed a sacrifice. There are various sacrifices in the Vedas. Even if you want to search, you can search now. There are, if you want, suppose there is no rain. So there is a sacrifice in the Veda which will produce rain. You want a child, you do that sacrifice, you will get a child. So all these are still there. But of course now those materials we don't have. So those yagas are very difficult to perform. So Sringi Rishihi Vasishtha Bulava. So Vasishtha invited the sage Sringi and had a noble sacrifice performed by him for the birth of a son to the king. Putra Kama Shubh Jagya Karava. Bhagati Sahit Muni Ahuti Deen hai, Prakate Agni Charu Karleen hai. So the sage devoutly offered oblations into the sacred fire, Ahuti. Then what happens? A fire god appeared from that oblation. And what did he have? He had in his hand an offering of rice boiled in milk. So what did he do, the fire god? He said, Jo Vasisht Kachu Hridaya Bichara Sakal Kajubha Siddh Tumhara. So he told the king, Sakal Kaju, all the works which Vasishtha Hridaya Bichara, which the great sage Vasishtha has assured you, Siddh Tumhara. It has been considered, it has done. Your wishes will come true. How? Yah habi paati dehu nrip jai, jatha jog jehi bhag banai. So as you wish, in whatever proportion you wish, this rice pudding you take, it is a divine pudding. You distribute among your wives, the queens of Ayodhya. And your desire will be granted. तब अदृश्य भय पावक सकल सबहि समुझाई परमानंद मगन नृप हर्षन हृदय समाई. Harashan Hridaya Samai. His heart could not contain the bliss, Dashratha's heart, because Adrishya Bhaya Pavaka. Pavaka is Agni. So this is a wonderful word. A Pavaka means one that purifies. So Agni will reduce the impurities in anything to ashes. So that is why Agni is called the purifier, Pavaka. So Adrishya Bhaya Pavaka, the fire god, gave the pudding and went away to his heavenly abode after making him understand anything. And Paramanand Magan Nripa. Nripa means king. So he became immersed in bliss because his desire was about to be fulfilled. So he distributed the pudding amongst his queens, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. So all the queens conceived. So what happened? The birth of the boys was coming near. So Sri Rama is announcing his arrival, God himself coming down as human beings. So what happens? What is the state of the world when God is about to come? Ja din te hari garbh hi aaye sakal lok sukh sampatti chhaaye. From the time Hari was conceived, joy and prosperity reigned in all the world. Sakal lok sukh sampatti. Mandir mah sab raj hi rani shobha sheel tej ki khani. Mandir mah, mandir here means palace. So in the palace shone brightly all the queens who were great abodes of beauty, virtue and glory. Sukh jut kachuk kaal chali gayo, jehi prabhu prakat so avasar bhayo. So some time passed happily in this way. Now the time arrived for God to be born. So here the word is not janma, mind you. Here the word is prakata. Because janma we may think that something which is not there is coming into being. But God is always there. So prakata means he just manifests himself. So the time for God to manifest himself grew near. Jog lagan grah bar, jog lagan grah bar tithi, sakal bhaye anukul, char aru achar harsh juta, ram janam sukh mool. So jog lagan grah bar, all these astronomical signs, they were sun, moon, zodiac, everything was coming into the right places. Sakal bhaye anukul. And char aru achar. So everything, animate and inanimate, the whole universe was filled with joy. Sakal char acharu harsha juta. They were all in bliss. Ram janam sukh mool. Because the birth of Rama, the birth of God, is the source of all joy. So, after this, the great day dawns of Sri Ramachandra's arrival. Before greeting Sri Ramachandra, we can have another bhajan. Ramachandra Raghupati रसना रसनाम लेत संतन को दरस देत रसना रसनाम लेत संतन को दरस देत विहसत मुख चंद्र बिंदु सुंदर सुखदाई विहसत मुख चंद्र बिंदु सुंदर सुखदाई सीतापति रामचंद्र रघुपति रघुराई। हसन बोलन चतुर चाल नयन वयन दिग विशाल हसन बोलन चतुर चाल नयन वयन दिग विशाल भ्रिकुटी कुटिल तिलक भाल नासिका सुहाई भ्रिकुटी कुटिल तिलक भाल नासिका सुहाई सीतापति रामचंद्र रघुपति रघुराई। So the great day dawned at last for God to take birth again as a human being. So this is we celebrate according to the lunar calendar, you know. So Ramnavami, it is the 9th day. So Tulsidas ji says, नौमी तिथि मधुमास पुनीता शुक्ल पक्ष अभिजित हरि प्रीता मध्य दिवस अति शीत न घामा पावन काल लोग विश्रामा. So it was the Navami Tithi, the 9th day of the bright half of the sacred month of Chaitra. The moon had entered the asterism known as Abhijit, which is so dear to the Lord. Madhya Divasa, the sun was at its meridian. Ati Sheet na Ghama, it was neither cold nor hot. Pavan Kal Lok Vishrama, it was a very auspicious time, and the whole world seemed to be at rest, as it were. What were the other characteristics of this time? शीतल मंद सुरभि बह बाऊ हर्षित सुर संतन मन चाऊ बन कुसुमित गिर गन मनियारा स्रवहि सकल सरितामृत धारा. A cool, soft and fragrant breeze was blowing. The gods were feeling exhilarated and the saints were full of devotion. The woods were full of blossoms and mountains were resplendent with gems, and every river flowed a stream of nectar. So avsar biranchi jab jana chale sakal sur saji bimana gagan bimal sankul surju tha gawahi gun gandharv baru tha. So the gods know everything beforehand, before humans. So when the gods knew that the time is coming for God, the Vishnu to be born as Sri Rama, all of them came in their chariots and all that to praise the Lord before he was born itself. And the same thing is said for Shri Krishna's birth also, that when Devaki and Vasudeva were in the prison, before Shri Krishna was born, all the gods came and worshipped. So avasar biranchi jab jana. Biranchi means Brahma. So So when Brahma perceived that the time of Sri Rama's birth had approached, what happened? Chale sakal sur saji bimana. Bimana means all those chariots which can even go through the air. So don't think that we are traveling in aeroplanes, we are doing something new. This was done centuries ago. So all the gods came out with their chariots, aerial chariots. The bright heaven was crowded with their hosts and troops of Gandharvas. Gandharvas are heavenly beings. What did they do? Gavahi gun Gandharv Barutha. They all chanted praises. And what else did they do? Barashahi suman suanjuli saji gah gahi gagan dundubhi baji astuti karahi nag muni deva bahu vidhi lavahi nij nij seva. So Barashahi suman, they rained down flowers on God who was about to be born. Gah gahi gagan dundubi baji. Sky resounded with the beat of kettle drums, and sages and gods offered praises. Astuti karahi nag muni deva. All the whole universe as it were. And bahu vidhi lavahi nij nij seva. So they all, maybe they brought gifts and all. Then सुर समूह बिनती करी पहुँचे निज निज धाम जग निवास प्रभु प्रकटे अखिल लोक विश्राम. So Sura Samuh, Sura means God. Sura means God, Asura means demons. They're opposite. So Sura Samuh Binati Kari, after they worshipped God, praised God, Pahuche Nija Nija Dhama, they all went to their abode. Then Jaganivas Prabhu Prakate, the Lord of the universe, he manifested himself, Akhila Loka Vishram, for the solace of his whole creation. He manifested himself. So now, when the Lord manifested himself, the mother of Sri Rama, Kaushalya, it is said that first these mothers have the divine vision of God as He is. The tremendous form, Vishwarup Darshan and all that. Then they become a little frightened. Or they say that, God, I don't want to see you in this form. I have requested you as my son so that I can treat you as my son, love you as my son. If you have this terrible form of 1,000 arms and all, how can I imagine you to be my son? So similar thing happened here also. See, those who can understand the original will find so much joy. So here Tulsidas ji changes the chanda, changes the meter. It goes like this. 4 beautiful verses. Bhay prakat kripala deen dayala kaushalya hitkari harshit mahatari muni manhari adbhut roop bichari lochan abhirama तनु घन श्यामा निज आयुध भुजि चारी भूषण बनमाला नयन विशाला शोभा सिंधु खरारी. So Bhay Prakat Kripala, the all compassionate one, he manifested himself. Deen Dayala, who is compassionate. Kaushalya Hitakari, the benefactor of his own mother Kaushalya. Harshit Mahatari, Kaushalya was filled with joy. Muni Manahari, that marvelous form which even stole the hearts of great sages. So how can an ordinary person contain himself? Adbhuta Rupa Vichari, seeing God's unparalleled form. She was filled with joy. Lochana Abhirama Tanu Ghanshyama, his body was dark as a cloud. Abhirama means, Lochana Abhirama means he was the delight of all eyes. Nij Ayudh Bhujachari. So, Lord manifested in his real form. Four arms, Bhujachari. You know, Gada, Padma, all this, holding all this. Then, Bhushana Vanmala Nayan Vishala. He was adorned with Bhushana means jewels. Nayan Vishala, he had large eyes. Shobha Sindhu Kharari. Khara was a demon whom Sri Ramchandra killed later. So Kharari means the killer of Khara. Khara Dushana Rama killed, and the name of Krishna also is Madhusudana, means there was a demon called Madhu. So he killed Madhu. So from there his name became Madhusudana, Kansha Nishudana, all these names are there. So God manifests himself. Then what did Kaushalya do? Kaushalya was simply amazed. Then she bowed down and sang the praises of God. What did she say? Kah dui kar jori astuti tori kehi vidhi karau ananta maya gun jnana tit amana ved puran bhananta karuna sukh sagar sab gun agar jehi gawahi shruti santa so mama hit lagi jan anuragi bhayav prakat shri kanta. It's amazing poetry. I mean, it's unbelievable. So, Dui Kar Jori. Kar means hand. Dui Kar Jori. She bowed down. Astuti Tori. She began to worship God. So she said, Astuti Kori Kehi Vidhi Karo. How can I worship you? Ananta, you are infinite. How, in what way should I worship you? Maya Gun Jnana Tita. You transcend everything. Maya, the gunas, of which the whole world is made. You are beyond everything. Maya Guna Jnana Atita. Amana Ved Purana Bhranta. So you are sung by the Vedas and holy men. What do they tell about you? Karuna Sukha Sagar. You are the ocean of Karuna, compassion and happiness. Sab Gun Agar. You are the repository of all virtues. Jehi Gavahi Shruti Santa. Vedas and sages. So Mama Hit Lagi. So the same Lord of Lakshmi, Shri Kanta. Mama Hit Lagi, for me. Jan Anuragi. The lover of his devotees. Bhayav Prakat. He has now revealed himself. So I have no words. When you are filled with too much happiness, you cannot say anything. So next verse. Brahmand Nikaya Nirmit Maya Rom Rom Pratibhed Kahe Mama Urso Basi Yah Uphasi Sunat Dhir Mati Thir Narai Upja Jab Jnana Prabhu Muskana चरित बहुत विधि की न चहै कही कथा सुहाई मातु बुझाई जेहि प्रकार सुत प्रेम लहै. So Brahmand Nikaya Nirmita Maya, the whole universe, the Vedas say that every pore of your body, rome, Every pore of your body contains multitudes of Brahmanda, multitudes of universe. So, Mama Urso Basi, that God, infinite God, stayed in my body. Yah Upahasi. Upahas means, who will believe? Nobody will believe. How can infinite God be born as a human being? Sunat dhir mati thir na rahe. So let alone ordinary beings. Even dhir, sages, they also are bewildered. That how can the infinite God be contained in a small body? So God knew that she has attained supreme knowledge. His mother has attained supreme knowledge. So Upja jab jnana, when his mother attained that knowledge, Prabhu Muskana. Prabhu means God, he smiled. Charit bahut vidhi ki na chahe. So he smiled and conveyed that he would perform many kinds of divine activities in the world. Kahi katha suhai matu bhujai. So he assured his mother and also told her the account of her previous birth, how she had wanted him as her son. So he assured her that she will be able to love him as her own child. So now he has had, Kaushalya has had enough of this infinity. So she requests God, you please assume that form in which I can love you as my son. So, Mata puni boli somati doli tajahu tat yah rupa ki jai shishu leela अति प्रियशीला यह सुख परम अनूपा सुनि बचन सुजाना रोदन ठाना होई बालक सुर भूपा यह चरित जे गावहीं हरिपद पावहीं ते न परहीं भव कूपा. So Mata Puni Boli, so Mati Doli, Tajahu Tat Yah Rupa. Tajahu means give up. Give up this infinite form and all that. Give up this superhuman form. Kijay Shishu Leela. You act as a normal child. Ati Priya Sheela, which is so dear to a mother's heart. Yah Sukh Param Anupa. That bliss is wonderful, that has no expression. Suni Bachan Sujana Rodana Thana. So again, Lord, he hid his real nature, hid his real form, and Rodana Thana, he began to cry. Hoi Balak Sura Bhupa. Yah Charit Jagavai. Those who sing this praise of the Lord, Hari Pada Pavai, they attain the feet of God and they don't fall into this terrible well of samsara again. So, just a few verses remain. So, we will first sing another beautiful song and then see the last part. मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम कटे Ram Ram Ram, Shri Ram Ram Ram, Shri Ram Ram Ram. Param Shanti Sukha Nidhan Nitya Ram Ram, Param Shanti Sukha Nidhan Nitya Ram Ram, Niradhar ko Aadhar Ek Ram Naam, Niradhar ko Aadhar Ek Ram Naam, Shri Ram Ram Ram, Shri Ram Ram Ram, Shri Ram Ram Ram. It's a wonderful song, no? Yeah. So, God has finally come of His own will. Vipradhenu sur santahit leena manuj avatar, nij ichha nirmit tanu maya gun gopar. So, God is not born like us. We are born, we are forced to be born and under the sway of our karma. But God is born for the sake of Vipradhenu Sura Sant Hit. And what is the difference? Nij Ichha. He is born of his own free will. Nirmita Tanu. He manufactures a body. Maya Gun Gopal. So actually he transcends Maya. He is beyond Maya. But he takes on Maya for the good of the world. So now Dasharatha heard that a son had been born to him. So he was besides himself with joy. Dashrath putra janma sunikana manahu brahmanand samana. As if he had attained Brahman, as if he had attained God himself. So much was his joy. So, param prem man pulak sharira chahat uthan karat mati dhira. So he was drowned in the ecstasy of God realization itself, so to say, and with a mind saturated with the highest love and a body thrilling over with joy, he sought to rise. It means he is trying to gain control over himself. That joy he cannot contain. So he also knows that this is not an ordinary son. God himself has been born. Jakar naam sunat subh ho. See the poetry. I mean, this is unbelievable. Each verse. Jakar naam sunat subh hoi more grih ava prabhu soi. One whose name itself is auspiciousness, that Prabhu has come to my griha, my home. Then he told everyone, Paramanand Puri Man Raja Kaha Bolai Bajavahu Baj. So, Baja Bajao means beat your drums and all, celebrate. God himself has been born. Guru Vasisht kah gayav hakara aaye dvijan sahit nrip dwara anupam balak dekhan jai roop rashi gun kahi na sarai. So Vasishtha, his guru, also invited. He came himself to see God along with many other Brahmins. Anupam Balak. That Balak was, there was no one like him ever born. So, Dekhani Jai, they went to see God. Roop Rashi. He was beauty personified, so to say. Gun Kahai na Sirai, Kahi na Sarai. So, his excellences cannot be mentioned. No words are sufficient to describe God. And in conclusion, today we will see how Ayodhya, the whole Ayodhya was celebrating. There are many verses, we will just chant two of them, two parts, total 5 verses. वह सुख संपत्ति समय समाजा कही न सकई सारद अहि राजा अवधपुरी सोहई एही भांति प्रभु ही मिलन आई जनुराति. The joy, grandeur, solemnity of the occasion and the concourse of men and women were more than what Sharda, the goddess of learning, herself could describe. The city of Ayodhya wore a gala appearance. It looked as if night had come to see the Lord, and feeling abashed as it were at the sight of the sun, had deliberately stayed over in the form of twilight. So, देखी भानु जनु मन सकुचानी तदपि बनी संध्या अनुमानी. So this we had explained in the last line. Next, what else happened? अगर धूप बहु जनु अंधियारी उड़ई अबीर मनहु अरुनारी मंदिर मनि समूह जनु तारा Nripagriha kalas so indu udara. Clouds of incense represented the dusk. Means so much incense was lighted that they formed clouds, that smoke. And handfuls of red powder that we celebrate Holi, so people were throwing that colored powder in joy. Handfuls of red powder tossed up and wafted in the air represented the reddish light of sunset. So much of that colored powder was there, it looked as if it was twilight. See the comparison, I mean, it's unbelievable. Then the hosts of jewels that gleamed on housetops looked like so many stars. Mandir Mani Samuh Janu Tara and Nripagriha Kalasu so Indu Udara. The round pinnacle on the top of the royal palace looked like the beautiful moon. Bhavan Bed Dhuni Ati Mridu Bani Janu Khag Mukhar Samaya Janusani Kautuk Dekhi Patang Bhulana Ek Maas Te Jat Na Jana. So, Bhuvan Ved Dhvani Ati Mridu Bani. Chanting of the Vedas was being done in the Bhuvana, in the palace. Janu Khag Mukhar Samaya Janusani. It looked like the chirping of birds appropriate to the occasion. So what happened? Seeing all this, the sun god forgot to move. Kautuk dekhi patang bhulana. So, ek maas, 1 month, there was no night. Because the sun, seeing all this, was bewildered. He was completely aghast and he forgot to move. So, Kautuk dekhi patang bhulana, ek maas te jat na jana. Gazing upon this spectacle, the sun forgot himself. And a whole month passed. So in short, two lines just to summarize. Griha griha baj badhav subha prakate sushma kand harshvant sab jahat taha Nagar Nari Nar Brind. So Sushma Kand means very fountain of beauty, Prakate, had manifested himself. So Griha Griha Baj Badhava, there was Baj Badhava means there was festivity in every home. Harshvanta, everybody was full of joy. Sab Jamatah Nagar Nari Nar Brind. So Nar Nari, women, men, children, they were so full of joy. They were roaming about everywhere, celebrating the great occasion. So, I will, luckily, by God's will, just one day ago, one of my relatives in India sent me a very nice video about Ayodhya. I will show you to you. Then we will sing Ram Nam Sankirtan as we do every year. Finally, we will have arati. Aganita Muni Gana Samstutara Vishuta Dashakantho Bhavara Sita Lingana Nivritara Niti Surakshita Janapadara Vitina Tyajita Janakajara Karita Lavana Suravadara Swargata Shambhuka Samstutara Swatanaya Kushala Vananditara Ashwamedha Kratudikshitara Kala Vedita Surapadara Ayodhyaka Janamukti-dhara Vidibhugat Nandatara Tejomaya Nijarupakara Sansriti Manta Vimochakara Dharma-sthapana Tapparara Bhakti Parayana Sarvachara Palakaram Sarvabhavamaya Varakaram Vaikunthalaya Sanstitaram Nityananda Padastitaram Ram Ram Jaya Raja Ram 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 Jaya Sita Ram 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 Jaya Raja Ram 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 Jaya Sita Ram Sita Ram Jaya Raja Ram Raja Ram Jaya Sita Ram Sita Ram Jaya Raja Ram Raja Ram Jaya Sita Ram Shuddha Brahma Paratpar Ram Latmata Parameshwar Ram Shuddha Brahma Paratpar Ram Latmata Parameshwar Ram.
आरती राम तुम्हारी जय जय आरती राम तुम्हारी जय जय आरती राम तुम्हारी प्राणनाथ रघुनाथ मुरारी प्राणनाथ रघुनाथ मुरारी आरती राम तुम्हारी